My name is Kathleen Martinez.
And I am Alejandro Martinez.
And welcome to Pink Politics, where we give a breakdown of the latest headlines, laws, and what they really mean from a blunt but necessary perspective.
So buckle up because it's going to be a bumpy ride.
Katie Ginella, welcome to Pink Politics.
Oh, thanks for having me. This is so exciting.
You're our first guest.
That's an honor.
I know. I'm so excited.
Because you have a lot to choose from, by the way.
And you're my favorite recovering Real Housewife.
Still in recovery.
I'm surprised you didn't apply for asylum for me to get out of Housewives. Just to get some relief.
I should have.
Right?
Well, actually, we might have talked about that our first lunch. I was like, help me, save me.
I know. Well, I think let's talk about how we met. Because a lot of people think we met through Housewives, which we didn't.
Right?
Well,
we sort of did.
I mean, sort of. But it's funny. Well, I mean, we met through another housewife. People think that we met on Housewives of Orange County.
Right.
But we were connected through Tiffany Moon, my friend from Dallas, who was a Real Housewife, right?
I met her at a magazine event.
Yeah.
And I was like, hi, I'm Katie. People confuse us, even though we look nothing alike and I'm like a foot taller than you.
Right.
And we just talked about being the only Asians on our franchises and how difficult that was.
Right.
Being amongst people that aren't maybe accepting of Asians
that's
or
a nice
people
way
of
to put
color.
it. Yeah.
And
they're racist.
There you go. So she said, you've got to meet my best friend, Kathleen. She's moving to Orange County.
Right.
And I was like, oh, no way. And then cut to, I see Gina posted a picture of you when you guys closed on your house, I guess.
Yes, because she was my realtor.
Like, shit, can't meet with her anymore.
Yeah.
This is not going to be good, you know?
Right.
And then you reached back out to me and I was like, you know what? Let's hang out.
Right.
You know, maybe there's more to her. If Tiffany loves her, then I for sure will love her.
Yeah.
And then we met up and we spent like 3 hours at that lunch together.
I know. And it's funny because when I reached out to you, I remember we had sort of tried to make plans like we were in connection, but you were going through a lot with Housewives, right?
Yeah.
And I was busy and I was working a lot and I've been meaning to reach out to you. Not even in relation to Gina, which is funny because Gina was really just my realtor. That was about it. And I mainly worked with her husband. I didn't really work with her that much.
Right.
So it's funny because when I had reached out to you the day before, casting reached out to me. And so they reached, the day before, and they're like, would you want to maybe interview at Housewives? And I was like, well, I'll think about it. And that's when I was like, I want to talk to you about it. And so I was like, and that's why I asked you to lunch. I was like, I want to ask her like what her thoughts are and what her experience is, because I was watching you in real time being treated like absolute dog shit on Housewives. And I was like, do I really want to go through that? Not that I'd have a similar experience, but like, this doesn't look fun to me. Is she benefiting somehow? Is it worth it? What would I get out of it? So I reached out to you.
Yeah.
And then you posted a very viral selfie of us, right?
Yes.
We were doing like,
what the hell?
Right? And they're like, I knew you were on the right side of history. And I was like, oh shit, this is really deep.
Yes. Well, you and I together on a show like that would be great. To have a true friend, a true ally, somebody that knows me and my family well, would be fantastic. One that wouldn't like just turn around and stab me in the back.
Exactly. Well, I think that we have the similar values. And I think we're a lot more normal as people compared to the people who have been on the show a little bit too long. And in my opinion, I think that's the problem with Housewives. I think every franchise has sort of gone downhill because these people have been on TV too long and it's not real anymore. Their storylines are running out. I think they're at this point, they're self-producing to stay on the show, to keep a job. 100%. And at that point, it's just not real. It's not what Housewives used to be. Do you feel like you had to do that at all, like self-produce, or you were encouraged to produce a certain storyline?
I did that a little bit my first season when they told me, bring up the fact that Heather called the paparazzi. Okay, go tell them this. And I was like, oh, okay, not knowing.
Yeah.
But I remember there was this one time, this is the craziest story. On my schedule, you get your schedule once a week.
Yeah.
And it tells you what you're doing Tuesday through Saturday.
Right.
Who you're filming with, where you're going. So these people that say like, you don't know, that's not true. So they said, you're going to show Gina, Jen, and Emily, or was it just Emily and Jen? I can't remember. This Asian market, you're going to walk around. And I was like, you know what? This is good. It's probably H Mart. They're going to learn a little, whatever.
Yeah.
I show up at a Japanese grocery store. And I told the producers, I'm not Japanese. And they were like, it's fine. Just walk in with them, point to a few things. And I said, do you not understand that like Japanese and Koreans sometimes don't get along? And I'm not going to like walk into a grocery store and say, I know all about the Japanese culture when I barely know the Korean one.
Yeah.
They gave me so much pushback on that. And
what did they say to you?
They said, oh, just go in there, take a look, See if it looks like you can make it work in this setting. I went in. It was all writing in Japanese. There was no Korean. There was no Chinese. There was nothing.
No way.
And I walked back out and I said, guys, I'm not filming here. You're literally going to set me up for disaster. I will be roasted for this.
Yeah.
So I walked out and put my foot down. I didn't film there.
Good for you. But that's when you became a problem for production.
Correct. There were a few times where they told me, like, you should say this, you should do this. And I was like, I don't trust you. I'm not saying what you want me to say.
Good.
They interrupted one scene. They were like, okay, bring this up. They stopped the scene, came to my dinner chair and said, you should bring this up. And I was like, so no, I did not fall for the self-producing. You do see that a lot with these women.
Yes.
I noticed about the trailer that a lot of it is just repetitive. It's just the same stuff repackaged for year after year after year.
The trailer was the most underwhelming trailer I've had to sit through. I was already sleep deprived and I was falling asleep watching it. And I was like, this is deja vu because we've seen this trailer.
We've seen the same
for
thing
10 years.
Over and over.
It was bad.
It was bad. And I can never understand why the women wanted me off so bad. Like, they want a villain. They want someone to hate. That's not them. They want the deflection.
It gives them a job.
Right. So, like, why would you...
Why would you want the one villain off?
Yeah.
That you villainize the entire cast. It doesn't, and now it's boring.
Yes.
And now they're all going to get fired.
Right.
I mean, they should because they're boring.
Yep.
It's a boring show.
Yep.
You know.
Well, I remember we were in New Orleans and Tamara had quit that episode, and we went to the airport. It was me and Jen with Emily and Gina. We had a super early flight. It was like 6 a.m. or something.
Right.
And we were in the airport, no cameras, no microphones. And Gina said to Emily, Jen, and I, what are we going to do now? Tamara's gone. What do we have now?
You had no content because the villain left.
Because the villain left. And I was like, well, what do you mean? And they were like, okay, we got to make shit happen. You got to get angry. You got to say this. And I was like, oh, wow.
Wait. So are you saying that Gina would literally encourage you to make things up for production?
She never said those words, but the things that she was alluding to, absolutely. And so,
she was worried about content, about storylines because you lacked it.
She was producing. She told Jen, Jen, sometimes we give it to you and it's like volleyball. We want you to give it back. So when we push you, that's just us wanting you to give it back. It was all made up. It was all contrived. And at that moment when I was leaving, first of all, I was gutted because they accused me of something I didn't do.
Right.
But I was like, wow, this is fake. This is so, Emily would show up at a scene and say like, all right, what do you want us to talk about so I can go home? It was like, oh my God.
I feel like it's very transparent that Emily and Gina are self-producing. It's very obvious. And every year that that they're on the show, the longer it takes, the more fake and transparent it becomes.
Yeah.
You can tell they're pushing storylines. You can tell they're making things up. I think in one of the seasons they had a fight in a pickleball court and it was the most obviously fake fight.
Fake fight.
There's no way anyone fell for that. There's no way. And I think that production thinks the fan base is somewhat unintelligent. Do they really think that we're buying that it's not completely self-produced?
Well, when we first had lunch, remember I told you, I was like, Emily thinks we didn't go to the moon. The world is flat. Like it was.
Wait, Emily's a flat earther?
Well, she thinks we didn't go to the moon. That was all fake.
Are you kidding?
No, she said it on the show.
Emily said that on the show?
Yeah,
I must have missed
allegedly, I haven't seen this with my own eyes, but many people have told me that she came out as QAnon.
Oh, I've heard that. I have read that allegedly she's QAnon. I think there's an article where Bronwyn and her did not get along, and Bronwyn said, I don't think she likes me because I'm a liberal and she's a Trump supporter and she's voted for Trump. This is what I read in the article.
Yep.
Now, I don't think she's ever come out. I don't know if she's come out and said that she voted for Trump.
She has. In an article, she said she was proud that she voted for him.
My issue with Emily is that it's very obvious that she's very miserable. And I know that she's had issues with me through like mutual people that we work with, and I've never even met her. It's crazy.
It's because you're friends with me.
Yeah. Well, I think she's very worried about you were a problem for her because you might have taken her spot. And you could tell that she's projecting all of her misery onto you. And you could tell she's very threatened by you. That was the issue, that you might have taken her spot. And then what she's going to have to do, practice law, I guess? I mean, you could. You have a law degree. Use it. Like, go help people. Like, you don't have to be on this trash show where you're having to, like, fight with people every single day. Like, you have an ability to work. The other women don't work. This is all they have.
She said in the airport last year when Gina was going through horrible things with Travis's ex-wife. It was horrible. She said, I might have to brush off my degree and go back to practicing.
Oh, no.
And I was like, could you?
Yeah.
And we were walking down an escalator at LAX and she was like, I could. And I was thinking like, well, then why don't you do that? That would be so impactful. Like it would help Gina. You could make a difference, truly.
I mean, law school fucking sucks. Being a lawyer for the first 10 years, and most of being a lawyer is really, really hard. So why wouldn't you, if you work so hard to become a lawyer, why wouldn't you practice? Why would you just never practice? Like, and do in trade for reality TV? I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. Reality TV should be a platform to something greater. But she had that something greater and threw it away for reality TV. And I think you can tell that she seems perpetually miserable. And I can tell that Emily was very threatened by anyone who was happy. You had a good husband. Didn't Tamara tell you something about how you having a good marriage might be a problem for the other women?
Yep, they're going to hate me because of it.
That's interesting. And why do you think the other women hate you because you have a good marriage?
Maybe because Matt's not cheating, so they can't call him out for cheating.
Correct.
Or something bad that they can call me out for. That'll be a reflection on me because Matt's doing something bad. Matt's a golden retriever.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's not going to do
Matt.
that.
He's just like the nicest guy.
Well, we were at the pool yesterday and there were these groups of girls like in their 20s in like thong bikinis. And he just was looking down. He's like, I don't want anyone to think I'm looking at these girls in bikinis and I'm sitting here with my wife. And I was like, Matt, it's hard to miss.
He's a total golden retriever. And they were probably jealous, right?
Well, they did not like him.
No, they did not like him.
The first time he said anything was my first season and we went to taste my alcohol when I was producing alcohol. And they were just embarrassing us because we had hired these people, these scientists to create these formulas for us. And he was literally like, do you not know how this works? He said that to Emily. And Emily was like, excuse me. But yeah, he didn't like them from the beginning.
Yeah, well, because they weren't trying to be your friend. They were just co-workers, and they were making you the villain so that they can have another spot. They can secure their spot on the show. Exactly. It's very obvious. And it was hard for me, once I became friends with you, I was trying to decide whether I wanted to be on the show or not. And I was watching them just absolutely terrorize you.
Yeah.
And the way they excluded you, the way Heather wouldn't talk to you in certain scenes instead of make up with you, it was very obvious that they were trying to get you kicked out of the show. And it was such horrible mean girl behavior that I decided I would only go on that show if you were on there just so I can advocate for you.
Well, but I would honestly, you're such a good friend that you would even say that to me, but I really wanted to see you on there so bad. I wanted to see, because you are a wordsmith.
Yeah.
You can cut someone deep with one sentence and a monotone way. You would have crushed it.
I think she's awful. And the way she treated you, I had some words for her, and I don't find her very intelligent. I know she tells everyone she's very smart, just ask
she does.
her.
I'm an attorney. I'm an attorney.
I'm like, are you? I mean, technically, I guess, but I'm not impressed by her, at all. And I want to go back to what you said about self-producing. So were you encouraged at all to bring up the Heather Paparazzi storyline by anybody else, or did you decide to bring that up on your own?
Just Gina, and I trusted her. She was my friend, I thought.
Yeah.
She said, well, if you don't tell them, I will. You need to tell them. You need to tell them. I told them, and then her famous line was, I told her not to say anything.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a second. So I went back in our text messages. I have it where she's like, this is what you should say. This is how you should bring it up. And then the very next day, I told her not to say anything.
She wanted you to bring it up.
Yep.
Did you bring it up in casting?
I did, but I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
They were like, tell us a funny story about one of the girls that you know about or whatever. And I said it thinking it was funny. Like Heather called the paparazzi. That's funny to me.
Who cares? She was the only one who cared about that.
And everyone's like, you didn't have solid receipts. Well, the reason is because I'm not outing my friend who might lose their job.
Right.
So I was protecting someone.
You didn't want to out Gina because you thought Gina was your friend, correct?
Yeah. And I didn't want to out my friend that works with the paparazzi and gave me the info.
Correct.
I've seen other texts that prove that I was telling the truth, but I'm not going to destroy someone else for my comeuppance.
Do you think that she had a lot of power in Housewives?
I do. I think because Terry has a show and she has a show, allegedly. I think because during the reunion, we were talking about something. She got up, stormed off to production, and then we came back and we would never talk about it again.
Interesting. So you think she had control over what you would and would not discuss on the show?
She told me not to talk to the media, the bloggers, as I like to say. Then she held a happy hour in New York City for all of the bloggers. And Dylan, I think his name is Dylan from Betch's podcast, went on his podcast the next week and we're like, all she wanted to do was talk about Katie. That's all she talked about, was dogging Katie. Then at BravoCon, she went up to one of my friends who's a blogger and said, let me talk to you. Why are you friends with Katie? That's the only thing she wants to talk about.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I think they were because without you, I mean, what were they going to talk about? They weren't agreeing. They did not want to have conflict with each other. And if they did, it was very fake and transparent. So like you actually brought ratings to the show. People watch the show because of you, right?
Well, I think it's a lot of people that are people of color.
Yes.
I had a ton of Korean adoptees reach out to me.
Right.
Because in the 80s, it was a huge business for Korea.
Huge, right?
To basically, I hate to say it this way, but to sell us to Americans.
It was, I don't think anyone knows that. Can you explain what happened in the 80s? Like
the 80s, they had their doors open to adoption to Americans. Mm-hmm. And in 1984, when I was adopted, I think I was like 16 grand, which is a lot of money in 1984 for a family that my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad had a very, I mean, he did okay, but it wasn't, they weren't rich by any means.
Right.
Then I think it was, don't quote me, but I think it was either the late 80s, early 90s, they closed their doors because they realized they were giving all of their children that were potentially going to be Olympic athletes away.
What do you think your parents' intentions were when they adopted you? Because you don't have that close relationship with your parents. I don't think a lot of people know that.
My parents are very good people. They weren't great parents, but they're good people. They're very kind. They're very big Catholics.
Yeah.
And they adopted me and my 2 siblings. And I think that they felt good about it.
Right.
Like the whole rescue mentality.
Like they were helping. Yeah.
And I was drinking the Kool-Aid and also thought that I was being rescued in a way. You know, when people tell me, you're so lucky, you should be so thankful.
Right.
You know, you're like, yeah, I guess I should. I am so thankful. Until I joined Korean adoptee groups, and that verbiage is so harmful because you're always indebted to them for rescuing you.
You feel like you owe them.
Right. And so I stuck around for horrible things from my parents because I felt like I needed to.
Right. What are your parents' political affiliations?
They voted for Trump. The first election, that's the last time we talked about it. The first election, they voted for Trump. They had giant bumper stickers on the back of their Toyota Camrys. And my parents volunteered in the soup kitchen in downtown Atlanta. They're do-gooders.
Right.
I took the sticker off of my mom's car and I said, Mom, downtown Atlanta has a very large Black community. You will get hurt.
Yeah.
You cannot have this on your car.
Right.
And she was like, what are you talking about? You know, they just think, Matt likes to say they are very small.
Yes.
They operate in their small town with their small church, with their small friends.
They just don't get it.
They don't see. Their idea of traveling internationally is on a cruise ship.
Oh, yeah.
So they're just very small-minded.
Right.
So the fact that I have a different view than them, and it's not Catholic, it's not religious, it's a human rights view.
Yeah.
That bothers them. They still call me Oriental.
Oh my, no way.
I tell my mom, I am not a rug. I am a person.
That is insane.
Yeah, I had to ask them multiple times to not do that.
Right. So it must be bizarre because you weren't raised within an Asian household, but you are Asian being raised among nothing but Republican white people, specifically in the South, correct?
Yeah, and whenever I would talk about something Asian, my mom would make a face like, oh, that's gross. Or, you know, if I wanted to learn more, she's like, but honey, you live in America now. Like I was supposed to just like assimilate into being American and not Korean. And my parents would travel a lot when I was younger and they would leave me with one of my aunts. It's just my mom's best friend I called Aunt.
Right.
And I remember specifically being in grocery stores and at Steak and Shake, because that was like high quality food.
Right.
And she would call people the N-word. And in a sometimes lovely way, like, hello, N-word, or that N-word bagged my groceries. And I remember being like, that doesn't feel right for me because I'm not white. You know, even little, I thought, I don't like that. Like, that makes me feel weird, you know?
Right.
But I was raised to kind of be seen and not heard. That's very Catholic for kids. And so I tell people that I didn't clock into being proud of being Asian until I married Matt. And that's why I felt like I put up with a lot from these women when there were racial undertones to a lot of things that they were saying, because that's how I grew up. That's how
you were used to it
until I was, 30 plus.
Right.
I was used to just being like, oh, they didn't mean it that way.
Right.
We'll give them a pass this time. I don't know them. That's how I've operated.
Do you think that it made a difference that you're Asian versus like, what if you were like a different race, right? Like what if you're Black or what if you're a Latino? Do you think they would have treated you the same way?
Well, I think I've mentioned to you that this whole summer house thing with Ciara, people are rallying behind her as they should.
Right.
And they're saying, this is done to Sierra, whatever. There is a difference between racism to blacks and racism to Asians.
Why is that?
They think Asians are the model minority and they can say whatever they want because we are white adjacent.
Correct.
So they're allowed to say whatever they want about us and we'll survive. Stereotypically, they're like, oh, you own businesses, you're smart.
Like you'll be okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's this weird thing. My daughter and I were just talking about this, about how it's not okay for other communities, but for Asians, it's totally okay to be racist.
Did you get that impression from the Housewives specifically? Like,
I did. And they would say snarky things to me. And I was just like, I overlooked it. I let it go.
What kind of comments were made to you that made you uncomfortable about your race on Housewives?
The biggest thing that made me uncomfortable was Hot Pot, when I hosted Hot Pot. And
oh yeah, my God, that was uncomfortable to watch.
It was horrible. All they did was make fun of the food. And this is a food that is deep rooted in Asian communities. And you are making fun of it.
Right.
Emily putting an egg in her purse and trying to make this all a joke. It's not funny.
That's not funny.
Not funny. Also,
That's
if
weird.
you remember, she hosted that lie detector test with those actors for a Persian New Year party. How are we not talking about how she literally villainized a day that Persians
take very
celebrate?
Seriously?
Yes.
Why not just do your own white girl crazy lie detector test that's obviously fake and obviously an overproduced setup, but you have to do it on a Persian holiday?
And they wanted to make the brown person look like a liar.
Yeah.
All they kept saying was, Katie's a liar, Katie's a liar, when I didn't lie about anything.
Well, all of them lie. And that's where they get the fan base wrong, that nobody cared even if you did lie. Like, nobody cares. Nobody cared. No one gave a flying fuck if anybody lied to each other on that show because it was dumb and it doesn't entertain anyone. That's not why anybody watches Housewives. But all of them have been caught in lies and they've been asked back.
We were
Vicky
just
got caught in a massive scandal. And she was asked back.
And glorified.
And glorified.
That's why Jamie Rice and I named our podcast Bravo's Most Wanted, because there are so many housewives with mugshots. Okay?
Right. Who are asked back.
Right. And are literally glorified. So the fact that they think I lied about calling the paparazzi and dumb petty shit, honestly, that's what we should be fighting about on Housewives. We should be fighting about the dumb petty shit and not my custody information from 12 years ago.
Which is funny because Heather discussed that she, at BravoCon, I remember an interview on TikTok that I watched, her saying that she wants it to be more fun, petty drama. But the petty drama, like her calling the paparazzi, she shut down real quick. And I'm pretty sure she got you kicked off the show. She has so much power. That's just my assumption. I don't know if it's true, but I'm pretty sure that she had a big part of you getting kicked off the show.
That's how I feel too.
Yeah. She had more power, more money than anyone on that show. So I'm almost positive. That's just my opinion. But I don't know her personally, but I get the ick from Heather. I think she has too much money. I think she's a performative liberal. She did not post anything on her permanent feed about the ICE raids. And I'm like, yeah,
exactly.
I clocked her right when people called her out and she wouldn't post about it. Maybe a story or something, but like someone like Tamra posts about ICE. She posts her dad, her own dad at a rally. Right? An anti-Trump rally, a No Kings rally, right?
Yep. And
which I thought
lost
was really cool.
many followers posting all that. And I was like, I don't care.
You don't care.
I don't care. Because, and Jamie and I just said this on our podcast, why aren't more of these housewives saying what stance they take?
Right.
If you are MAGA, if you are super Republican, say it with your whole chest.
Come out with it.
Let us hear it.
At least Vicky did.
Vicky does a lot.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't lie about anything. She's very upfront about how she feels. But the other ones that are so obviously MAGA are not coming out. Jen drives a Cybertruck. She drives a Cybertruck. Her son was wearing Charlie Kirk merch.
Okay, so last season, I haven't talked about this yet. She went to, or after last season, she went to a Jason Aldean concert.
Right.
And she got a lot of hate for posting about it. And
as she should.
Even Bravo said, you need to be researching who you're going to see before you're posting about it, before you're going. And she called me upset. She was like, I can't believe they said that to me. Would you have known that he was transphobic? And I said, yes.
Yeah, because you can read.
Everyone knows.
Right.
That him and his wife, allegedly, are transphobic, homophobic, all the things.
They're Trump supporters.
Yes. So, yeah, I would have known.
Right.
You know, I just think we have a platform and everything we do is under the microscope.
No kidding.
So you have to not only set a good example, but be a fucking good person.
No kidding. Yeah, I wanted to go into, I think we were talking about Heather and Persian New Year. Something really racist that you've told me before.
No.
What is the most
I'm
racist
saving
shit?
a lot of it for when it's airing.
Yeah, that's a good point. You want to save a lot of it. I want to talk, the reunion.
Oh.
Your
which
first
one?
reunion.
Oh, okay.
I think it was before they shut you out and ignored you. It was your first season was season 18, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So they wanted fun, petty drama.
Yeah.
But then Emily brought up your literal custody situation.
Yeah.
When you were a young mom.
Yeah.
Basically kicked out by your narcissistic, abusive ex.
And my narcissistic parents.
And your narcissistic parents. You were a single mother.
Yeah.
And she had the audacity to bring up the fact that you had to voluntarily but temporarily give up custody as if that was some kind of like point that she was trying to make. She was trying to make you look bad.
Yeah.
And that didn't make you look bad at all. It made her look bad. What kind of royal scum piece of shit are you to bring up anyone's custody, especially as an attorney? I used to be a family law attorney, and I represented a lot of moms in CPS cases who lost custody, who temporarily chose to give up custody because they had no other choice, and they were putting their children first.
Right.
So for her to have the fucking audacity to bring it up as if that was a bad choice when you were putting your children first, she is such a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like, she's trash. Emily is trash.
Well, I remember going through that, and I couldn't afford a lawyer, so I had to represent myself. I remember my ex-husband's lawyer would call me and be like, you need to do this, you need to do that. And I was like, what? You're representing him. Why are you calling me to? I just recently heard of a woman named Drew on Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she just lost custody of her children. And she has a great job, makes great money. She seems like a really good mom. And she lost custody. And I was telling my friend Jamie, I think this may be a Georgia thing, because the judge that I had called me a gold digger in court.
Are you serious?
We have the transcript. And,
no way.
Saw that I was living in Winter Park, Florida, which is an affluent town,
right?
In Florida, and said, "Oh, I know that town, and I know the kind of people that live there." Like, basically alluding again that I'm a
you
gold
didn't
digger.
belong there,
right? The thing that was most upsetting about Emily is she represents people from the Innocence Center, and she literally was saying cops don't lie. When I was telling her that is not what happened, you can go on and read my statement. My statement is different from his statement.
Right.
And the man, people like to say Katie falsely got a black man arrested. I would just like to say that man is not black. He is from Europe. He may be the color of mayonnaise. So
she couldn't even profile him correctly. What the fuck?
It was gutting to hear that instead of celebrating that I survived something really, really, really horrible, they were trying to make it look like I was a bad person and a bad mother. Yeah.
And as someone who represents the wrongly detained, and someone who I don't know if she did family law, but as an attorney in general, like, we know that the justice system is not black and white. People are wrongly accused all the time. She's profiting from the fucking Innocence Center all the time to give herself a storyline, and she's claiming that cops never lie. She knows better than that. She's not that dumb, but she did that to make you look bad.
Yes, anything to make me look like a bad person. Again, make the person of color look horrible.
Correct. And I cannot believe that she was given another season after that. I mean, the fans do. Yeah. I don't get it. I don't understand why she and Gina and all these women who give absolutely nothing on the show, but also like make the show look bad, are given another season. There's one thing about ratings, but like, they don't listen to their fans.
Yeah.
They need a new cast. And that's when I was casting, I thought they were going to do that. I was like, there's no way in hell they're approaching me to try to pretend to be friends with these 60-year-old MAGA women. There's no way. I was like, because I would never be friends with them in real life. Maybe they want conflict, but also they were encouraging me to like have fun. They're like, it's about a group of friends. I'm like, but I would never be friends with Vicki Gunvalson.
But that's
or
the best
Emily
part
Simpson.
about you is you were such a relief to talk to, because you and I have the same political views.
Right.
The same views on kind of anything.
And we're
really.
very unapologetic about it.
Right. Parenting, politics, friendship. We have the same views. So it was so nice to talk to you, because I had been on a cast where I had to like be mute basically about it. Now, Tamara is more left-leaning.
Yes.
I think it's scary being a public figure, as you know, to say anything political because you're afraid of the backlash. But at this point in our country, 2026, you can't be anymore. You have to say how you feel. There's no more saying, I don't talk politics.
No.
There's no more of that.
Because then that screams MAGA to me.
Well, it screams, I don't care about anyone but myself.
Correct.
So I'm not a part of that. If you say that to me, we cannot be friends. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be around you.
And I don't think anyone saw that on Housewives, because when I got to know you, I was like, wow, she is very bright. And she's very blunt, and she's very left-leaning. And I was really surprised. I was like, no one saw this shit on the show.
No.
And so many people can relate to you. So many minorities, women of color, left-leaning people, anyone with an ounce of empathy could relate to you on the show if they saw that that's how you feel and what you stood for.
Right.
But instead they saw you get bullied. And that's what you were known for, as someone that got bullied.
I know. And I just want all these housewives literally to take a stance. You want to profit from being a mother to the gays, but you don't walk at Pride like I just did.
Yeah.
You know, you want to say that you support immigrants. Well, where are your posts supporting immigrants?
Absolutely no post about that. I clocked every single liberal housewives on that cast. I was like, I'm waiting for their post.
Nothing.
No post.
Well, Reality with Allie. We talk a little bit on Instagram.
I love her.
She's so great. She's a very smart cookie.
Yeah.
And she is outing everyone.
Yeah.
And she didn't post my contributions, my political contributions. So I was like, you didn't post mine. I was like, where do I even find what I've given? I don't even know.
Right.
And she told me the website and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's to Act Blue. Like I've only ever donated to Act Blue. She's like, that's why I didn't post it, idiot. I'm like, oh yeah, duh. You know? She's
so funny.
Yeah.
And I get that some people are like, I don't want politics brought into my entertainment, right?
Well,
but you just can't avoid it.
Well, our network is run, at least the people I've met, Bravo, NBC, is people of color and gay men. And so if you are voting for the orange man, then you actually don't support their rights or their lives.
Right.
So you are not a true ally.
But interesting, because isn't the production's boss Alex Baskin of Baskin Robbins?
Yes. That's why his production company is called 32 Flavors.
Do you know if he's MAGA or not? I mean, I'm just going to assume.
No idea. That's the one I don't know. Andy Cohen is very out about being liberal, which I appreciate.
Me too.
And the other people that are in upper management of Bravo NBC that I met are also very liberal.
Yeah, well, I love that. I mean, I think what I want people to know is that they saw you as someone who is just this reality TV person, or the star that was known for basically being unfairly bullied. But you're so smart, you're so political, and you've done so much for minorities and women of color on a different platform than I have. And I wish more people knew that about you. How are you going to bring that into the future? Like, what's next for you?
I don't know. But I do remember calling you at the Ice Out rally. I just cried the whole time.
Yeah.
Just sobbed the whole time. Like people driving by, honking their cars, grandmothers showing up. I mean, it was so cool. I started that podcast with Jamie Rice, who you've met, and she's also extremely liberal.
Yeah.
We have the same takes about things. For social justice.
Yeah.
So that's good. I don't know what else I can do other than that. Just be very vocal.
Yeah. I think what people don't know about your podcast is you're not just recapping it like every other housewife with a podcast. Like you're talking about the real issues that's going on, like race and politics and religion. And I think that sets you apart from every single kind of housewives cast. So what's the name of your podcast so people can listen?
It's Bravo's Most Wanted.
Bravo's Most Wanted.
It's so fun. And we do talk about misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, Gretchen Rossi, and human rights. You know, like we talk about everything. It's so nice. Jamie it's kind of like you and I. We just talk.
Yeah.
It's just like we're friends, and this is what we would sit at lunch and talk about.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Katie, for coming on.
Thanks for having me.